Hello everyone, my name is Ricardo Lund, head engineer of Rakoon Sound Studios, and welcome to another episode of our Tips and Tricks show, where we show you information about our equipment and how we use it to make music. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Pioneer DJS 1000, which is a performance sampler from Pioneer, and we're going to be taking a look at the functionality, the features, and the possibilities that it offers in a live performance. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so we have the DJS 1000 here with us. This is a performance sampler, as Pioneer calls it. And it is a pretty nice machine. People are using it in the DJ booth because it's designed in the same shape as a CDJ. It's actually pretty similar to the Torais sampler that Pioneer has, except that it has a CDJ form, and it's very friendly for any DJ booth. And it has a few differences, obviously, like it's lacking the analog filter that the Torais has, and just some of the functionality of it, but really minor things. But it's designed pretty much for people to take their projects from the Torais on their USBs, load them up on the DJS, and perform in the club. So, having said that, you know, the build is pretty good, like all other Pioneer equipment. You have inputs and outputs for the direct sampling, because this thing can sample directly, which I'm going to show you in a minute. It has two outputs, mid in and out, Ethernet connectivity for the Pro DJ link, and yeah, that's what it has in the back. And now it has I'm gonna start showing you the one-shot mode, where you can create patterns by using samples that you load up to it through USB. In this case, we're just using the stock library of samples that it comes with. So it works like any other sequencer. I just press play, and it starts running. I can actually make the length of this pattern. I'm gonna start making it 1 bar. So there we go, it's 1 bar, and I just, you know, select the sound that I want to put in, and it'll start playing it. So let's select a kick drum. So there we go. Snare, some hi-hats, some open hats, we have some extra hats here, shaker vibe, and then let me lower this a little bit. And then we have a baseline sample here. Now we can load up obviously the bass like all the others, but we can play it actually like a keyboard. So if we go on this scale mode, we can start entering notes. So we got a little bassline right there, and then let's load up some chords. Actually, now it's a good time, I think, to make the pattern length a little longer. So if we press shift and length, we can make it 4 bars. So now let's put in some chords. Okay, that's pretty cool. As you can see, it quantizes automatically. If you want to change the quantization of it, you can press on the quantize here on the screen, and you can change the quantization of it. It's set up to quarter. Then we also can change the BPM of it. In here, we can go to BPM and make it, I don't know, whatever, 125, BPM of the pattern. And we also have the possibility of changing the swing. Right here you can see that I have a 38% swing, and this we can make it completely straight as well. Or we can make it swing a lot. I'm gonna leave it in 50%, I guess. Alright, so that's how the one shot works. Then obviously we have here in the envelope, in the sample, you know, in the sample configuration part, we press on that, you can see that we can change things in the playback. You know, we can adjust the envelope of it. Let's go to the piano to give you an example of that. So I can adjust the envelope, increase the hold time, or make it really short like I had it. Right. Can apply an LFO, select the destination, and you can apply it. Yeah, so LFO, it has a destination, shape, and then you can sync it, or just the speed of it here and the depth of it in here. So let's actually try it out. So if I increase the hold, I go back to LFO, let's assign it to the pitch. So sorry, let's go to let's adjust the destination to the pitch. Anyway, we're not gonna have it here. So set the destination to none. Let's go back to the envelope as we had it, really short. So yeah, you can do that. You can also, if you want to load up a sample, let's load up a new one. As you can see, we only have 7 samples loaded up right now. We click on here and press browse, samples, internal, sample pack. We're gonna select, I don't know, let's do an effect. You can audition the samples like that. Let's get just an impact right there. So now we got it loaded up here. Now we can enter the impact. There it goes. We can then go to the mixer. Say this impact, it's a little loud, so you can see that that channel is selected. You can select what you want by touching the screen and, you know, adjusting the level. Then you have the volume knob here, so you can make it lower. So as you can see, the whole thing is pretty user friendly. This actually is not it's not from the studio. It's actually from one of our really good clients, Alex Gonzalez. Shout out to Gonz out there for lending us this DJS and letting us review it. So I've only played it for a few hours, honestly, even less, and I can already get into the workflow. It's laid out super nicely for you to get into it. So yeah, I guess that covers like the one shot part. Now we're gonna switch scenes. So before I move on, I should mention that you have a project which contains scenes, and each scene is pretty much going to be a different pattern, and each scene will also contain its own samples. And then you inside each scene you have 16 tracks that you can sequence, either one shots or samples, or loops, which I'm gonna show you now. So I have pre-prepared a little scene that has like a few loops. So it's this scene right here. So these are all loops, and I have right. So as you can see, we have a drum loop here. I'm gonna mute this out. We have only 3 tracks working right now, so we have the drums right there. And if we check it out, we go on this playback, you're gonna see the sample right there. Now if I go on the get out of the scene mode, now I can enter actually some sequence triggers here. So as you can see, it starts triggering like from the beginning. Now let's go back to let's trigger the bass line. Right. So as you can see, we have the bass line right here. Now, as you can see, it automatically assigns like chops to this. Right. So since I have it in loop on, which is like constantly samples loops between that chop. Right, in slice mode. Now if I go to hot slice, it'll play the slice that I pick, but then it will continue through the whole loop. So right. So now I can actually create a little sequence out of these, you know, so I can, let's actually increase the length of the pattern. So shift, and let's make it 4 bars. And I'm gonna create perform a little pattern here with these slices. Right, so I can have, so it's pretty cool. Now we go to the hot slice again. Let's see what happens. Yeah, well now we're blocked by the triggers that we have here, but if we didn't have any triggers, it would do the same that it was doing before. Wherever we press in the slicing, we'll start there and then continue through the whole loop. But if we go to the slicing mode, yeah, it goes back to the. Now, if you want to delete some of the, if you want to delete the pattern, we just press and hold delete and delete it. And now you can see that it's just cycling because we don't have any triggers to overtake them. It's looping in that slice. Right, now we have this other. Right, so we can, if we go on this, on the drums, and just get one trigger, we'll get the whole loop. Let's go on the other ones. Delete those. So you can see it's pretty easy to understand. Now you also have, I can load up, I can have a combination of loops and like and one shots. So for example, I can go on this pad here, and as you can see, I have the pad start on, I think it's called, which means that whenever you press a pad, it plays the sequence. So I can have that in off as well. But now I'm gonna actually select a one shot here. So let's pick a little snare sample. So loops, sample packs, sounds, house. Let's get some drum hits, a little snare. And yeah, let's see what snares we have. Let me just load up whatever. Alright, so I'm gonna show you a little bit of the touch strip, how it works. Pretty much you can set it up to pitch. So if I press this hold, I don't have to have the finger latched to the thing for it to work. I can just leave it there. So you can see what pitch does. It just pitches it up or down. Now you have repeat. So while you hold the pad and move this touch strip, it's gonna change the time that it repeats, and we can have the hold on too. So, and you can record this, by the way. So I can record at the end of the bar. So in the fourth bar, it's gonna have that snare roll, and it adjusts to the swing of the pattern as well. So you can see that if we go here, this get the swing of 50%. Right, so pretty cool stuff. Now I have a CDJ on the other side here, and like I said, this machine, in my opinion, what it's meant to do, it's meant to create kind of like a hybrid live DJ setup, instead of just playing like from track to track. You can actually improvise, like in the middle of your set, like adding some live elements to it. And actually, I think it's something that you should prepare before each performance. You should come up with a few patterns ready so that you can just come with all the elements ready and then perform them live. You can obviously start loading up things and and making things right in the spot, but it won't be as good as if you prepare. You can also use it in a very simple way, kind of like to create snare rolls and stuff like that, but I think it's kind of like more like a live remix tool, and it should be used like that. So I have a CDJ, like I said, and I'm just gonna play a little bit, in here. So oops, I'm gonna stop that there. I'm gonna mute the tracks here that I have. So let's kind of forward here. A really cool way to use it, I guess, is just to like loop a part of the track that you have going and then kind of start improvising over it, So the first thing we're gonna do is set the master on the CDJ to be the master tempo. Now they synced it's using the same functionality, and it's 123 on both. So I'm gonna loop this part. Right, so now we can have this little part here and make our own beat on it. And then use this loop as an element. So as you can see, you know, I'm using this part kind of like as a remix part, you know. Pretty cool. So you can make a pretty unique things out of the track that you're playing, which I think is wonderful. Right? So that's one way to use it, which I think it's pretty creative. Now let's stop this. Now the other thing that you have the possibility of doing, like I said, you know, you can actually sample stuff directly into the unit from the other CDJ. So the way I do that is I have the inputs of this connected to the sends of the mixer. So I can just receive signal from the mixer, from any of the decks that I have connected, and I can live sample it. So, and then you can chop up the loop. So let's continue this track, or let's pick another track to make things a little more interesting. So let's pick okay, this is fine. So I'm gonna press sync here. Right now I'm gonna mute these other tracks that I had, and I'm gonna go into the sampling parts. Now let's fast forward a little bit in this track so we can as you can see, it's receiving inputs. Input level is controlled with this small knob right here, right? And you set up what length you want it to sample. So I have it set up to 4 beats or 1 bar. But you can make it manual. You can make 32 beats, 16, 8, 4, 2, you know. So let's actually sample 2 bars. Why don't we do that? So we're gonna wait until we get to the breakdown so we can kind of like live remix as well. I don't want to get any beats actually. So the break is coming soon. Now it's sampling right now. And it's already playing because I have loop after recording. So I can fade out this track. Yeah, so as you can see, it already has a sample right there. And now I can go on this and I can check the playback. So pretty cool stuff. It already has everything, you know, there. Now we go on the sample. We also have the opportunity of changing the position of it. So it's like a little disaligned, so I guess that would be aligning it to the grid. Now we can actually, so let's go back on the sampling to see if let's align it. Now I can go on the sample and set slice. Now I can make a grid slice, 16 slices, which in 2 bars I'm gonna do 8 slices so that we get 1 per beat. Now if I go on the slices, I can play them. And let's actually create a slice grid of 4. Let's see what happens. actually. It's getting a little messy, but let's see. Let's try actually another part with the beats. So if you want to remove the sample, we still have the drums sounding right here. We go on the sampling part, select it and press unload. It's out. So let's actually select another part. So let's go on the track. I'm gonna select it in another section here. So right before it kicks in. Bring this one down. Now let's sample again. Go back on here, sampling. And let's select, actually let's select 16. Let's sample 4 bars. So let's actually remove that again. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, we have the sample running. Now, let's try to slice this again. So as you can see, it behaves the same way that I was showing you guys before. So now it would be cool if I can just like sequence something, you know. 2, 3, 4. I messed up in a few. Let's see where I messed up. Oh, let's put something over there. So as you can see, I just like sliced the whole thing, and it's kind of like, yeah, remixing the thing on the fly. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah. So with that demonstration, I think you can see the possibilities that this machine offers, you know, in a live setup. It's pretty cool. I hope, you know, we can start seeing them in clubs as a standard, you know, so that you can, I think that's Pioneer's idea, you know, that you get like a Torize and you make your patterns, you make everything there, and then you can perform it in a club using one of these. So yeah, that's the Pioneer DJS 1000. Thank you guys for watching this review on the Pioneer DJS 1000. We hope you liked it and found it informative. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, if you are located in the Miami area and you need some help with music production, audio recording, DJ lessons, production lessons, we are here to help. I'm leaving the contact to our website down below so that you can reach out to us. So this is Ricardo Lund, and I'll see you guys next time.